Whoop. Whoop. Don't worry about those. What's up, baby? How you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah, you damn right you're doing good. I'm doing great. You know why? Because some new stuff just showed up. I'm way more excited. Cheers. So some new stuff showed up. Pretty excited. We got brand new status seats. They're the grids, but we wrapped them in a brown, similar to how the Pro car actually used to be. It used to have brown seats in it, brown leather, and the car was black, and it matched the dually. So now we're gonna make the E30 match the dually and possibly go back to brown seats in this. But for now, the brown seats are going to be going into the E30. So we got some fresh grid seats from our boys over at Status Racing. They threw the Hold Fast logo in there. Looks super sick. Also, a couple of goodies from Condor showed up. Condor sells a steering wheel hub, OMP. So we'll be showing you kind of how to throw that in there. And then also they sell the planted seat brackets so that we can mount our Status seats into the E30. And last but not least, my favorite baby, a new steering wheel. This is the Hold Fast Casino wheel. If you guys don't know, Hold Fast is my brand. That's why it's kind of on a bunch of stuff everywhere. But we'll be throwing this in for now. We have a new steering wheel that's coming in soon, and that will be the wheel that stays in this car. But for now, this one will do for what we want to get done. So we're going to transform kind of that interior. As you can see, stock steering wheel is this big, ugly, bulky thing. So we're going to get that out of there, and then we'll mount up the seat brackets. There's a second one in the passenger seat. Shout out to Javier, first of all. Okay. He had that one in his car. He wasn't going to use it anymore, so he decided to shoot it to me. So I only had to get one from Condor and then the steering wheel hub. So we'll be throwing these seats and the steering wheel into the car today. Real quick tip and trick that Javier showed me. Actually pretty smart. I'll give it to you. Wised up on this one. The back is traditionally a bolt style, but with the planted seat brackets, it's really hard to get the bolt in there. So what Javier said was, why don't you just take the bolt and run it from the bottom up and turn it into a stud? Ingenious idea. So now we have, on this side, we'll be running 3 studs, 1, 2, and 3, in order to mount the planted setup. This fourth one, the fuel lines are right below this, and they can't really be moved, and the head of the bolt's going to interfere. So I have to get the bolt to go through on this side. I can't turn the bolt into a stud. But on that side, that's 4 studs on that one. If you want to pick that up, Javier, show the people. Voila, 4 studs. So that one over there, and then the 2 fronts. So that's pretty clean. Now it just drops on and you screw the nuts on and you're ready to go. We'll be focused today on the driver's seat because I got to get the driver's seating position figured out relative to the tilt and paddle assembly and relative to our steering wheel. So with that being said, let's jump into the steering wheel. So heed this warning, boys. When you are removing the factory steering wheel, you're going to have an airbag here, more than likely. If you have this style particularly, you'll have an airbag. I think the M-Tech style, I'm not sure if it has an airbag, but with this particular style of steering wheel, and any steering wheel really that has an airbag, disconnect your power source to your car, meaning unplug your battery and let your car sit unplugged for like 10-15 minutes because there is some emergency stuff that stays in here. But once you disconnect it, you'll let it decharge and cool down, relax, all that stuff. I know certain models like hold an extra charge for the airbags. I don't know if it's in E30s or what particular cars it's actually in. I know that it does exist. Just be careful because if you're undoing this and unscrewing all this stuff and that bag decides to go off, good luck. On this particular model, there's 2 screws here and here. On the back side, there's holes in the steering wheel. You can get to them. I don't know what they are. They're probably a Torx. This one was already removed for us. So the next thing you'll have to do is remove the nut in the center, which it's pretty easy. Then you'll take the steering wheel off. Oh my God, dude. It's just stuck. Yes. Then you take that and do that with it. So once your steering wheel is removed, there's a little spacer behind it for your airbag. You're gonna have to keep that there. And then your OMP setup will have an arrow that says this is the top. So I'll utilize this bolt there as a top. I have a little bit of a timing mark on my spline. I'll drop that in, boom. Now, before you move forward anymore, there needs to be a 1/4-inch spacer or like that airbag spacer behind. You can get 2 of those, and then you can put one on the front side and leave the one on the back side and then tighten down your nut. If you put this nut and washer on right now and you tighten it all the way down, you'll get what is about a 1/4 inch of play forward and backward. Now why OMP or these other hub manufacturers didn't just make the hub with a spline sticker so that you don't need to buy any more parts, I'm not sure. but I need pretty much a 1/4 inch spacer, or possibly I can cut up the stock steering wheel, take the spline section and cut a 1/4 inch of it out and be able to use that as a spacer. So we'll have to do that, and then after we get that done, we can simply install our holdfast steering wheel. I gotta find a spacer and then we can move forward on this. Let's get into mounting the seat brackets. With the grids, it doesn't really matter which one we pick for driver's seat, passenger seat. None of that matters. What's gonna matter the most is seating position. Now the pedals aren't forward like they used to originally be. Now the pedal assembly is gonna be moved a little bit closer to us. So I gotta figure out, it's not by much, but I gotta figure out where I'm gonna utilize this seat bracket, where I'm gonna mount the seat bracket. I'm a taller boy, about 6'1", and I'm gonna have to push my seat further back. Throw the grid in, it's gonna be sitting a little too far forward for my liking. Also, these brackets make your seat a little bit high. There's things we can do to change that. So this is the furthest back we can go with the front of the seat, which will be the status bracket. So after that's up, we can get to that point there. That's about as far back as we can go, which still seems like it's not going to be far enough back for me. I could sit in it, but I can kind of tell already that ain't far enough back. I think my seat's gonna need to be like somewhere around there. So we'll try to focus on getting this seat as far back as possible. We'll probably have to drill some new holes in the planted setup. You can decrease the space between the seat and your pedals and increase the space between your shoulders and the steering wheel is by leaning the chair back. And what that'll do is it'll pick up on your legs, essentially shortening your leg travel. So instead of your legs being straight, now they'll be bent, and you'll have kind of a support on the bottom of your thighs where your hamstrings are, and then it pushes back your shoulders so you're leaned back a little bit more, increasing the gap there. So if you're in a situation where you can't get your seat far enough back, try leaning it back. It might increase and decrease and make it feel a little bit better. But the problem with doing that in this situation is that the status brackets only allow you on the rear to bring your seat to the top bolt. There's not really a way around it. Typically I'll run the highest in the front and the lowest in the rear. I've already moved back to the second row of holes. I can't drop to the next one, otherwise the seat will run into the bracket. So I'm kind of stuck in this seating position, therefore I need to move the seat further back. I feel like my butt crack is hanging out right there. Was my butt crack hanging out right there?
A little bit.
Felt it. Felt the wind, dude. That's when you know you're getting bigger. When your butt crack just starts hanging out. Right, so everything's going to be nice and slippery because the bolt's not in. Somewhere around here. Actually, maybe a little further back. Yeah, it'll be like right there. Never mind. Maybe that'll actually work for us. Yeah, and then once this is on here, thank you, Javier. Once that's on there, that puts us at a pretty good distance. So I'm comfortable with this seating position. It's a little lean forward for me. I'm leaning forward also because I'm trying not to let the leg fall back. Let's get this seat mounted, get this bracket mounted, and see what we come up with. Found a couple of bolts and nuts to mount the planted seat bracket to the status seat brackets. Now, I'm gonna throw this in there. Let's see where she sits. I'm having to kind of hold my own legs up here, but the cool thing with the Tilton assembly is that I can actually adjust the studs and allow the pedals to go a little bit further forward. Only thing I would like is if I could lean back a little bit more, because I actually favor a seating position that has this support on your hams. I really like the support on the hams. The rest of it bolts right in. So I'll mount the passenger seat and we'll move forward with our life. All right, so there you have it. Status seat's in, and now for the final touch. I'm just gonna throw the steering wheel in because I still gotta do the whole spacer thing. So let's get that cherry on top. Hold on. All right, so. Oh, you're filming a video. Yes, sir. Last things last. So there it is. Last things last. Throw in the horn button. Oh. Voila. There it is. Oh, yeah, there's Chun Chun. There it is, hold fast steering wheel, status seats, everything looks beautiful. Just gotta get that spacer done so I can tighten down the steering wheel, but just wanted to give you the image of what it would look like in here. A bunch more stuff to still do on the interior. For instance, we have these super sick door handles with pull tabs and all kinds of gangster stuff from Condor Speed Shop. Again, seat brackets from Condor Speed Shop, steering hub from Condor Speed Shop, and then all the seat stuff from Status, and then a hold fast steering wheel, which if you guys can, go show them some love and tell them thanks for the support. These companies like this that are smaller make these projects happen. Obviously the big companies help as well, but it's all little guys that put together all their effort in order to help us create a project like this. So people like Tilton, Proper Fabworks, Hold Fast, which is myself, Condor Speed Shop, Status. Those are the guys who help us build this stuff, so be sure to give them some love. Just want to at least get a video out and show you guys these new Status seats. Super comfortable. I'm probably going to end up changing the position a little bit. I think AK makes different seat brackets. We'll see as far as like the side mounts here. Some like custom ones that go a little bit higher so we can get some more lean out of the seats, but don't worry about that. We'll figure it out. As always, I just want to say thank you guys for supporting the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Alright guys, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you want to support the channel in another way, you can head to holdfast-usa.com. Buy anything on the website. It helps us keep this content coming to you. Huge thanks to the sponsors as well who support all these different series that we want to bring you guys. Give them a follow, give them a like, tell them Micah sent you. As always, boys, stay safe.